Hello. Hey! Knock it off! Stop it! Will you stop?
What is up, guys? It's Cartman here, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFXTV. I'm the WrestleGamer. Don't be Billy Bojo. Got a couple of guys to introduce you to. First off, he's our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
And from the Whodat Temple on Instagib, he's James from the Big Easy. James, how you doing?
You know, I watched TCW. It's funny that they started off with the beginning of match 4 of the best of 7, but they decided to cut to the end when they came back from commercial break of the Americos match. What's up with that?
Well, that would be on the direct TV feed. When I watched it on Cox Sports Television, you know, I didn't have any of those issues that you were talking about, and you know, I did try to get to the heart of the issue from some of the people inside TCW, and the only feedback I was getting was, you know, they are aware of the situation and some of the issues that people are having with DirecTV, and you know, they're trying to get on with a more recognizable national channel other than the Pursuit channel, because I've brought issues to them before about, you know, my locally run Pursuit channel, because on the locally run Pursuit channel they would play like the first half an hour of TCW, and then the rest of the show would just be a local infomercial, 30 minutes straight, and you would never see the other half of TCW, which is why, and thankfully I also have Cox Sports Television on my channel lineup, so I can watch it an hour before. But like I've said, TCW is aware of the issues and the problems as it pertains to the Pursuit channel. You know, now they are trying to get. They wouldn't tell me too much more about that, about the information about, you know, which national channel, you know, what national broadcaster are they trying to get with, you know. And you know what? I don't blame them. That's their business. You know, they don't want that information being leaked out. So at most, what I can say before we get to the review this week of TCW is the fact that, you know, they are aware of the issues when it comes to the Pursuit channel. You know, and they are aware of it. They do apologize for that from what I've been told. And they are trying to get with a bigger market, you know, a more recognizable market channel when it comes to airing that stuff. Time will tell as to what channel they're going to be switching to, but I'm pretty sure as soon as that information becomes available, you'll hear it either on their website, which is tcwwrestling.com, or you'll hear it here first, right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer, or on the Facebook page as well, facebook.com/WGS-TV. So, guys and gals, be sure that you pay attention to those channels and those links that I just listed right there for any updates for when it comes to the channel issues with TCW. Now, TCW this week was a repeat. For the reason that was made available to me was because of the fact that their normal video editor has had some health issues. He had a triple bypass surgery, which, from what I've been told, thankfully he came out all right. You know, no other issues, no other problems, which to me personally, I'm just thankful that, you know, nothing really bad happened to him. But given the fact that the previous week I was at MechaCon, from you guys that saw, and the channel lineup and the only bad thing that I will say about the Sheraton Hotel that I didn't really say in the MechaCon review was the fact that the channel lineup, for one, didn't have Cox Sports Television, and two, didn't have the Pursuit channel, so I had no way of catching TCW that week. So, in essence, for it to repeat the following week, to me, actually helped me out in a bit, because I didn't get the opportunity to see it the previous week. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So officially, this is the TCW review for the week of August 30th, 2013. That's the official designation for this review. Now we open up with Sigmund and taking on Purple Haze. Purple Haze, another product of GCW. Well, I like to consider him in that brand because I've worked with Purple Haze quite a few times on here. You guys have seen him quite a few times here on WGS-TV. He's a great star for Gulf Coast Wrestling, a former Cruiserweight champion in GCW, and they just had him go out there and flat out job to Sigmund. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Sigmund. In fact, I am a huge fan of Sigmund. I love his work. He always had that Chris Benoit-like attitude, except in this match, maybe there was an overabundance of taunting with the loser thing. I can understand that's part of his gimmick, where he's supposed to be calling his opponent the loser. But for me personally, there was just quite an overabundance of it. Maybe tone down the taunting just a smidge, a little bit, because it was just kind of making the character kind of overbearing, as it were. I don't know if you guys would agree with that assessment. Would you not? Because to me, like I said, the Sigmund character was right, but however, in this instance, to me, I think the overabundance of taunting kind of took it down a little bit. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
In a way, yeah, but as you said, it is his character. For me, it's like, okay, you don't see it that much when he has like a big, in the TCW, he has a big like opponent. When it comes to like jobbers and stuff, I think that's when you can see him more cocky and all that arrogant, how he was.
I really would have liked to have seen a more competitive match between Sigmund and Purple Haze, because I know what Purple Haze can do, and I know Purple Haze can put on a great match, and I really wish TCW would have let them go that route. Because Purple Haze, you guys have seen Purple Haze on GCW. The guy's a phenomenal athlete. The guy's a phenomenal performer for GCW. And pairing him up with Sigmund, my first initial thought was that this was going to be a fantastic opening match for TCW. Now, I can understand TCW at this time is really trying to push Sigmund, especially with what happened with the Rumble Riot, the whole incident that happened at the Rumble Riot where they suspended Vordell Walker for that stretch muffler incident on the outside, and the fact that it looks like they're possibly going to push him towards a run at the TCW Heavyweight Championship with Scott Phoenix. Because after the match was over, he made a promo saying that he deserves a title shot because he was never truly eliminated from the Rumble Riot. My initial score, overall score right now for this was at first I wanted to give it a 4.5 out of 5, because I know very well what Purple Haze is capable of. After working with him for the past couple of years here in GCW. And I really want to see a more competitive match, but also at the same time, I can understand TCW, pushing Sigmund over on Purple Haze. Purple Haze, a relative newcomer in traditional championship wrestling. I think this is his first match with the company that I've seen on TV, and the fact that Sigmund is right now, a lot of people might consider him to be one of the major players in traditional championship wrestling right now. If they want to push in towards Scott Phoenix and a run at the TCW heavyweight title, it's quite understandable. So, but I got to tone it down because I really wanted to see a better quality match, a more competitive match. It really would have made the opening that much better for me personally. So I got to tone it down to at least a 3.75 out of 5. Now we see the first appearance of Matt Hardy in traditional championship wrestling as he approaches Americos, and also Trevor Murdoch is there, as apparently now his name is just Murdoch, not Trevor Murdoch, just Murdoch. They were both talking with Americos. They're both, happy to see the guy. And Matt Hardy approaches him and says he kind of reminds him of a young Jeff Hardy with the way that Americos uses the Swanton Bomb. And you gotta figure at some point, a young wrestler like that, that's got to be a huge compliment to them. That saying that they really like your work when you get someone like, a lot of people, really get on Matt Hardy's case, but Matt Hardy is an established name in the business. Whether people want to argue that or not, he's still an established name in the wrestling industry. And when you get someone who has that well of an established name in the wrestling industry say that they really like your work and you're young in the business like Americos is, that's a big compliment. So I gotta say that's a real payoff to not only the performer of Americos, but the fact that they're really trying to push Americos, and they did a fantastic job in this point, which leads up to Americos and Sean Schultz. What I was able to ascertain about the information about Sean Schultz, this was like one of the few one-off appearances that we've seen with wrestlers in the independent circuit, Lance, and I wasn't able to find. I was trying to divulge information from some of the my sources in TCW. They weren't able to give me much, but what they did tell me was he was a guy that is really being trained and working with Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy had brought him there, and this is kind of like an initial look at Sean Schultz. And we know what Americos is capable of. We've seen some good stuff from him. What were some of your initial reactions to his opponent, Sean Schultz?
Well, if for a second but how they were talking about him, it made it sound like he'd been in TCW for years. Like, oh, he's this and this and this and this. But he had the good ring ability, but it's like, oh, this Sean Schultz is this and such and this and such. Oh, but like we seen him a million times or something. I was like, and I've been watching TCW off and on for a good period of time, and ain't never heard of this guy. So it was like, eh. But he was good in the ring.
All right. How would you score the matchup between Americos and Sean Schultz?
3.75.
Pretty decent score. Of course, the Empire does cut a promo. They still having issues with Americos. And I gotta say, if they need a lot of good storylines as well, besides your primary storyline when involving your TCW Heavyweight Championship, and the fact that you have the Empire and Americos right now. I gotta say, I like it. I like the direction of it, and I like where it's going. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. After that very first episode of TCW on Cox Sports Television, the product itself has improved every single week. That's one thing I want to say. Despite what other promotions out there might say about traditional championship wrestling, I firmly stand behind what I just said. That every single week, TCW's product has gotten better and better. And you want to talk about one of the reasons why the product gets better and better? It's match 4 of the best of 7 series between Kincaid and John Saxon for the TCW Junior Heavyweight Championship. Now, James, I know you were having some issues when it comes to watching this on the Pursuit channel on DirecTV. But I will say this though. I truly enjoyed this match, and there's a reason they put these two together for the best of 7 series, and they show it time in and time out. And I gotta say, match 4 was no disappointment, James.
Exactly. Even though I did have the problems, but they did show the rest of the match. Yeah, as you said, Billy, it was a great match, and this is what like companies like the WWE and TNA lack is that build up like mid card talent. And this is what TCW never. You don't. I rarely see them do stuff with the world heavyweight title. I'm sorry, but I like it that they involve a lot of the lower level people too, and especially with the junior heavyweight championship at the best of 7 series. This one is not a disappointment. Good back and forth match. The ending was is that we have a new junior heavyweight champion because of the use of the ropes. I thought the referee could have seen that because the referee was right under it too.
Yeah.
He could have seen that. He could have seen that, but that's how it is. I give the match a 4.5 out of 5. Great, great match. This is why best of 7.
One of the finale of TCW this week featured Michael Berry, Mr. Saturday Night, coming out to address the fans about his whole incident with getting choke slammed by Titan through a table, and going through some of the medical issues and the problems that he's been having. And he invited some of his the people that he considered to be his friends out there. Sky Phoenix was out there, Purple Haze, Murdoch was out there as well, Tim Storm, and he officially announced his retirement from professional wrestling, and that prompts Alan Steele to come out. The man who we would later find out to be his cousin. And he just, at first they stand off with each other, act like they're gonna fight, and then they ended up just embracing, which to me kind of fully cements Alan Steele and Rich Rude now as faces in traditional championship wrestling, which kind of completes that turn. And I know there are a lot of people out there who didn't want to hear about Michael Berry retiring. They really wanted to turn it around. Only time will tell where they take this next with Mr. Saturday Night Michael Berry. But I gotta say this. I gotta get you guys' opinions on this. Michael Berry really delivered in this promo that he was under a lot of, you know, stress. He was recovering from an injury, and he needed to sell the fact that his health was really in a bad way. That retirement was the only thing that only thing he could do, the only option that he had at this point in time. And I gotta say, I want to start with you, Lance. I gotta say, in my personal opinion, Michael Berry really delivered in that promo.
Yes, he did. I started getting a little bit choked up myself because it was like he was laying it all out there. So yeah, he did the retirement really well.
James, what are your thoughts about that?
And the same thing with Nance. I was getting a little choked up myself just hearing that what happened with the incident with Titan some weeks back with
Oh
the
yeah,
whole ring, and then that when we had that interview
with Brian
uh,
Thompson.
with Ryan Thompson, and like hearing that he had gone through many doctors getting opinions, and then now hearing his retirement, and then how he how he spoke out, and all that stuff. It's really wow.
It kind of makes me want to see what's going to happen next on TCW. A lot of fans want to see, what is the follow up to the situation with Michael Berry and Alan Steele. What's going to happen next? And that's the key thing you need to end your shows on, is giving your fans that cliffhanger. You gotta do something to make your fans, sit there and say, you know what, they ended it on this note. I gotta see what's gonna happen next. And that's what you needed to do, and that's what they did with this. And I'm really glad they ended the show like that. Overall score on TCW is a 4 out of 5 from me. Now it's time to find out everyone's picks for best and worst match or segment of traditional championship wrestling. As you guys have heard in the past, we really don't have, in some instances, we don't have a pick for worst match or segment for TCW. I gotta say, best match, it's definitely gonna be Kincaid and John Sachs. I thought the matchup was great. Again, there's a reason why they put these two together for the best of 7 series, and they've been showing it throughout these past 4 matches, and this one was not a disappointment. I want to say, if I want to say there was a best segment, I would have to go with the Michael Berry retirement promo. Because, like I said, Barry really delivered what he needed to do in that promo. Get that notion to the fans that the only option he has right now is to retire, and get the fans' sympathy like he needed to. He did. And then we leave on a cliffhanger, the hug between him and Alan Steele. A lot of fans are wondering what's going to happen now. And that's the way you needed to end your show. That's why I picked that as my best segment. Let's go to Lance next. Lance, first your overall score, and then your picks for, I guess we'll just call it like this, your picks for best match and segment of TCW this week.
Yeah, I gotta go with you. 4 out of 5 in those 2 segments. But I do have a quote of the night.
Uh-huh.
The commentators. I don't think it was Brian Thompson. I think it was the other one.
Matt Rhodes.
Yeah, said if Dean Malenko was a redneck, he'd be John Saxon.
And you know what? I would not disagree with that assessment.
Yeah, and something about that just seemed a little funny to me. But I guess I'm imagining the Iceman as a redneck.
On that note, while we have that thought in our heads, let's go to James next and find out James' pick for best match and segment of TCW and your overall score, James.
I give it a 4 out of 5. I have to agree with all y'all. The match of the night has to be the best of 7 match, 4 match for the junior heavyweight championship. The series is now tied 2-2, and the segment has to go to the retirement, Michael Berry's retirement segment. Just hearing what he had to say really, it's so powerful.
Yep. So what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on TCW. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Lance, what did fans expect to see when they come to visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR reviews, wrestling reviews, and whatever else pops into my head.
And he dwells within the basement and the confines of the Houdat Temple is James and the Big Easy. James, what you got coming up?
Well, me, MVP, right now, we're kind of taking a break from InstaGib. I'm sorry to say, if you haven't, we haven't been much live. We're taking a break from InstaGib. We're looking into maybe going to another website, but for now, we're not doing any InstaGib. But still due to us, because we will be posting on the HWR Facebook page and the WGS Facebook page. We'll be posting news and all that stuff. And if we are, we will be doing NFL stuff. It's football. Season is almost here. Tomorrow is the opening kickoff. Time for football.
Fans, don't forget to like the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/WGS-TV. And also don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network. So for the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV and James and the Big Easy, I'm the Wrestle Gamer, Double Beam Billy Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching. Today's commentary review of Traditional Championship Wrestling has been brought to you by James from Big Easy's brand new charity, Cheer Shots for Bobo.
The bear! Where's the bear?
Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Spirituals meaning. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. I'm Haley Ringrose. Stoke answers.
My name's Andrew Weatherall.
Spirituals meaning. Stoke answers.